Sorry about that. I was trying to put you on the stove and accidentally push the button. You know, I haven't been able to go home because my truck's dead, and the neighbors here haven't left at this place, so I can't jump my car yet, or jump the truck to get it started, so I'll go home whenever, I guess. Okay. There. Some good old tongs. I mean, the chicken boobs are huge. Give you an idea. Gotta wait for that to warm up a bit. For the most part, it's been a quiet day. No, I talked to the folks this last night. I guess they got a little bit of snow there last night and this morning, but not a whole ton. Just spreading the oil around. Just kind of finding myself in that place where I don't know where I belong. Let alone I don't know where I fit in at, so I'm just trying to deal with things day by day until my home sells, and then which I can make some better changes finally. When it comes to other things, yeah, I mean, just overall, the changes have to happen. They really do. Let there be light. Now the sun came out and it's been melting the snow, which has been good. The roads are pretty clear. There's obviously like medians now made of like snow. They're like 3 feet high, pretty much, it looks like. Going down the center of the main roads, but yeah. Being quiet because somebody's not feeling too good and they're laying down, and I don't want to disturb them. I'm very ready to go home though, and I've been very ready for my home to sell. I don't hate anybody, I'm tired. And regardless of everything that I've had to deal with, including here last night, and I ended up sleeping in my truck till like 3 o'clock in the morning. It got too cold after that, but tired of the eggshells and then being blamed for it all, so yeah. That's why I stress to people, I don't care who you are, male or female, you don't have the right to treat people like crap and expect them to not respond to that. I mean, man or woman, it doesn't matter. You have a right to speak up for yourself and stand up for yourself. even if people don't like it. And sometimes when you do care about someone, you do gotta speak up. But we're gonna let this, oops, because I don't want this dripping all over the counters. Now we gained like a whole bunch more snow up at my house. And so it's just because I don't want to be snowed in and stuck there after having some bad experiences up there the last few years. I'd rather be in certain positions than be stuck there. And like I said, I don't hate anybody. I'm done with the one lane road and the one-sided bullshit. Anyways, to move on from that, because I don't really want to be focusing on that stuff, I'm going to go on to the next thing, which is cutting some bell pepper and onion. Baby Coke. Now, I'll show you how I cut a bell pepper. The darn sticker got stuck in my finger. So, this is how I cut a bell pepper. And, yeah, I just find the side. And that's it. And then deflesh the inside a little bit. Snip the tip, the top off. Just snip the tip. And sometimes it's just easier to cut it down more so that way you can get to that part. It's always easier to do that anyways, not just sometimes. And inside's a baby bell pepper. definitely say that one. I mean, yeah, I could staff these, but whatever. A little bit sore. My back's been really giving me a lot of problems too. But all you can do is just kind of grin and bear it. You can't do much about it if you don't have insurance, and there's not really much even the doctors can do. Hi, Pooh Bear. How you doing, buddy? You're my little buddy, Pooh Bear. Yep. I'm making, chicken teriyaki, or well, Hoison, a Hoison chicken with yakisoba noodles. And so I'm just, while the chicken's cooking, doing the obvious, getting the food prep done. And this I'm just going to throw in with the chicken right now. Not much, but... And then do my normal just a thin slice around, just enough to cut through that first layer or so. And then and dress your onion. It gives you a little spot to kind of hang on to, but you never keep that anyways, and the onion stays together this way. Now, one of the things I will do is I'm going to dice it up instead of just slicing it. So I'm going to flour it. then you turn it 180 and do the same thing. And from there, I'm not doing it uniformly. I'm not working in a restaurant. I'm working at home. Well, not my home, but yeah. And if you gotta scrape it into a pile, never use the bladed edge. Use the back of the knife. I'm doing this so it's easier for me to cut this last bit without cutting my finger off. So the rest of this is pretty much the root section. The reason why you don't want to use the edge is for a couple reasons. You first don't want to dull the knife. The other two is if you're working with plastic, a wood, really any type of cutting board like that, outside of maybe glass, you're not shaving that off in small amounts and putting it in your food. Chicken is smelling good. Okay, there's that. Come back over to the cock. There we go. Sorry. There we go. Yeah. And then you take one of these out to cut your cock when it's basically done cooking, or mostly done, and then you cut it down into strips, chunks, whatever, and you put it right back in to cook some more. This way you're not cutting on into trying to cut into the chicken on a metal surface underneath. And as is, from tongs and spatulas and stuff, you do enough damage to your skillets as is. That's why I like cast iron, because, well, of all things, that's how people get iron into their system. Excuse me, especially back in the day, because that iron, not only when you're cooking, you know, using a spatula and all that stuff, but as it cooks, that iron actually cooks, it helps somewhat transfers into the food. Kind of interesting, huh? Let's get the chicken cut a little bit here in a second. Wiping the stove top as I cook. Let's go ahead and get this cock cut. So I'll be back in a sec. Well, I guess I can bring him out. And then I'll just, you know, go on to the next one. And let this cook a little bit longer before I cut into it more. And give this a rinse off. Guess I'm just waiting for the chicken to cook a little more. You can smell that poison in there. I know one thing I can do is I can cook this, or cut this chicken down. This one's cooked. And no, I don't use the same cutting board. And that little guy's cooking nicely. Giving the dogs a little bit of chicken fat. While that's cooking, good stuff. Bring you back over here. Microwave instructions. I don't even use the microwave. I cook it the way I cook it. You got your flavor packet and your noodle packet. When I grow up, I'm going to have a noodle cart. Just turn in the chicken. I don't put much in. just enough to coat it. And then when I gotta put it in there, I put a little bit of water in. This is already moist enough, but that helps break it apart. Ironically, if you go to the old spaghetti factory, that's how their spaghetti, how they get their spaghetti. They don't make it like to order. A lot of it at the old spaghetti factory, and I want to say the Olive Garden also, it shows up in pre-cooked packets pretty much like this. All they gotta do is heat it up. That's it. So you're spending a shit ton of money on food that's cooked in a microwave. It's like when I went to this ramen place up at Clackamas Town Center. I want to say it's called Noodles or something. I ended up having their ramen, and it was basically Maruchan ramen. A 10-cent pack of ramen that I spent like $10 to eat. Yeah, I got frustrated when I did that, because when I went there and I ended up having that, I was thinking it was going to be something more special and awesome and all that. No. Started eating it, and I was just getting mad, because it was like, I spent this amount of money when I could have just went and spent like 10 cents to 50 cents for a pack of ramen and just cooked it myself. And hell, the employees didn't even take an hour to make it, so I mean, I can't even justify the wage that way. Let's go a little bit more. Need a little bit. Just a sweet. There we go. There's that. And in fact, I actually don't have to add water because, well, onion has water in it. So is bell pepper. So that's where the moisture is going to come from. And, excuse me. And that's going to basically get into the noodle heat. Make sure that's there. And now it's just not getting hung up on that as best I can. Flip this around. Get that spread about. And then grab this again. And here, grab a little bit of water. And what I mean by a little bit of water, I'm not going to use this whole thing. I don't know if you can see it. The water levels are right there, about where my finger is. And I'm probably only going to use like maybe a quarter of that. It's just enough to add steam into the mix. And yeah, still got my water in there. And now we get to sit for a minute and let that kind of do its thing. chicken cooking up real nice. And then we got the yakisoba going. And when this gets all separated and all that stuff and ready, then we put this stuff in to there, mix it up, and then you put the two together and it's all ready to go. Because I have a couple more pieces of chicken, I gotta put this on a plate real quick. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. On the sunny side. Toast that one up on the other side a little bit. Okay, that's toasted up. Before I forget, I gotta get some garlic out. This is smelling so good. A little bit of that juice in there. Mix that back up. Okay. And I got 2 extra little pieces of chicken so that the puppies can each have a piece. Without all the onion and garlic and all that, because that's not really good for them. I like to get there's some other ones, it's a bigger bottle, the Kikkoman, I like them. I like their garlic hoisin sauce that they have, but we couldn't find that. So I got the regular hoisin sauce with some garlic, like what I just put in there. And the fun part. This actually makes it easier to separate the noodles. So like, here, I'll show you. So if you just kind of, see, I'm just careful how I'm doing it so that way I don't end up throwing the lid off and having food everywhere. I could do the little skillet flip thing, but this isn't the skillet to do that with. Heat down on that. Dogs. Dogs. Did you just say dogs? No, I said tongs. Pervert. Almost. See? There's a little bit more to go, but that's okay. All separated up real nice. Just gotta let these veggies cook in a little bit better. And let's get that garlic back into the noodles instead of up on the sides. Go. I need this. It's a great big ramen noodle. And that's the last bit of water that's needed because, well, like ramen noodles, you need the water to help mix in the flavor. But because you cook off the water as you're cooking the noodles, you add a little bit more. That one to finish cooking. The puppies have theirs. Okay. sizzle. I don't know why I'm looking at the screen of the phone while I'm doing this. I shouldn't be doing that. Ugh. Now, it's time to plate it. What can I say? Because that's all done. Pretty sure of it. Puppy's got one. We're gonna have some chicken to eat. That's gotta get me that back so it doesn't caramelize anymore. This looks so good. And then you get your cock on your noodles. And then get our hoisin sauce. And then you just mix it up. Hoisin sauce is pretty good. It's like a thicker teriyaki sauce or whatever. But yeah, there you go. Hope you enjoyed that and had a little fun while I sat here and quietly chatted at you and made dinner. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys are staying warm out there and have been having a good weekend. Take care and have a good night.